Whereas the tzitzit, what does it wrap only? Stomach, torso. Again, what is the small talit want? Feed me. Give my stomach. What does the big talit want? I can understand you, mother. I understand your love. I understand what's going on. So now the two should make sense now. So again, we have a level of talit katan and a level of talit gadol. Now on the level of talit katan, we wear it at night, right? But we said the mitzvah of tzitzit doesn't happen at night. It doesn't have no shaykhut at night. There's another thing you have to know. The level of talit is also called what they bring down in the lashon of the Kabbalah is or makif. It's a surrounding light. Now, based on what we said, it should make sense. It's a hug. It's a big hug, a bear hug. It's a mother's love. It's endless and boundless. It has no boundaries. That's the talit. That's why it's white. It's pure. It's the mother's love on such a level that we can't even comprehend it. That's the secret why we only make the bracha on the tzitzit, because we're about to reveal what's the tzitzit, and that's the only thing that we understand. We don't connect to what's the mother's love. Just like a child never really gets to the end of mother's love. He never really appreciates the mother. If he would really, he can't. He can't. And it's not a deficiency in him. That's how he's created. Eventually, there will come a time where we will appreciate, quote unquote, the mother's love. Again, when I use these terms now that we know what we're talking about, the mother's love, we're referring to Kadosh Baruch Hu, God. We're referring to a revelation of God. That revelation is called mother. That's because it's on a level of love that's incomprehensible. What in the physical world represents that kind of a love? A mother. This level of Or Makif, we're going to need to understand also for another reason. Again, there's a lot of different concepts, and they're going to come into the whole box. The Or Makif is like this. Imagine a guy's in a dark room, and outside's very sunny. So how does he get the light into the room? He's got two options. Either he can light a candle in the room, okay, or he can open up the shades. Now, if he lights a candle in the room, then the room's lighting capability, the capacity is determined by the size of the candle. A bigger candle with more candles will create more light. Smaller candles will create less light, right? So the lighting capability is limited to the size and the capability of the candles. Masha'anken, but when he opens the window or he opens the shade, that light, try it, fills up the entire room. The light from outside fills up the entire room. And it has nothing to do with what's inside the room. It's only to do with what's on the outside of the room. This is what's called Or Pnimi and Or Makif. The internal light is dependent upon the ability of the person. How much Torah the person knows, how big is the candle? Is the candle big or small? If his Torah is big, then he's got a bigger candle, he can light inside. But regardless of how big the candle is, if you would just open up the window, you would get more of a light. Because it's the outside light that lights up every little hole, every little crevice. I give you this example of light and dark in a room because that's what Chazal use when they describe evil. Evil in the world is called choshech. That's why it says the choshech apnei hamayim, right? There's darkness on the earth. Darkness, the word choshech, is the same letters as the word shikha, to forget. Because they mean the same thing. Darkness is an absence of light. Light represents revelation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, revelation of His love. When we don't see that revelation, when we don't feel it, it's called darkness. Okay, makes sense? That's why when you open that window and you let the light in, Chazal say it fills up the entire room, even the holes. Meaning it leaves no room for the Yetzer Hara. There's nothing. That's why it says when a person wraps himself with a talit, the light surrounding wipes away all evil. This is the secret, it says the Ben Ish Chai, when it says, V'hanachash haya arum, and the Nachash was naked. Meaning, like this. The Nachash knew that Adam Rishon had the capability of attaching to this external light. The light that would simply, when you all you have to do is open up the shades, and it would fill up the entire room. And what would it do? It would migaresh tachoshech. That's why the Ben Ish Chai says, Me'at or migaresh habe choshech. A little bit of light. Try it. Go into a dark room and put a little bit of a light, a little lamp, and it shooes away a lot of darkness all of a sudden from this little tea lamp. The Nachash represents, we know, the Satan. He's evil. Evil has no holding, no bearing on this light. Because what happens? What happens when the light gets revealed? There's no more darkness. So Nachash knew that once this light will be revealed, he doesn't exist anymore. Evil doesn't exist anymore. And if evil doesn't exist anymore, everything has a desire to live. Even evil. So what is evil interested in doing? On one end? Like at the light. Right? Hence we have the word klipa, coverings. So we said we have on one hand we have a malbush. What's a malbush? It's a covering. But on the other hand you also have something called a klipa. It's also covering. The difference, the idea being that all of these things are there to cover out the light. When it does that, it allows the Yetzer Hara to exist. Again, that's why it says again, "V'anachash hayarum." He was naked, meaning he had no accessibility to this light, and he knew that if he couldn't get to this light, if Adam would get to this light first, he would wipe him out. Adam lost the access, direct access, but God gave him a zikaron, a remembrance of this light. What is it? The talit. Again, the talit is white. It's or. When he wraps his entire body in this talit, he's to remember that there is a light around him, a light called Torah. And it's more than what he can comprehend. It's nothing to do with what he can comprehend. It has only to do with him opening the window. Does this make sense up to here? So, man was given again this ability to wear a talit, which was again, talit represents a few things now we learned. We learned that the big talit represents us on a higher level of intellect, where we understand what's going on. When you understand what's going on, you know how to open the window. When you know how to open the window, you've all of a sudden just let all the light in. But when you're a baby, you have no idea how to open the window. The only thing you know is to eat. So where does the light remain? The light remains inside, because when we're on the level of baby, of a fetus, the only light that we have is whatever we can light inside, whatever little pieces of Torah we can light inside the room. That's called or pnimi. But that's limited to what you can do. If a person has bigger candles, like we said, more light. Less candles, less light. That's it. You can't. But if you are a person with intelligence, you say, wait a minute. Why am I going to light the candles? Well, I'm wasting time here. Let me open the window and let it all in. Then I can see what I'm doing. Then I can start going about my day. So that's what we basically, another lesson we're going to do when we put the talit on, is say, hey, I've got to remember to let Hashem in every day. I got to let Him in to what I'm doing. Don't block Him out. Hashem a lot of times gives us messages and we say, block it out. Nah, it can't be this message. It can't be this. Everything we're doing is a message. Everything that a person receives is a message. If a person gets put into a certain place, in a certain situation, God wanting to be there, there's a message in that place. That's why He's constantly wearing at least a reminder of the message in His talit, His tzizit katan. So He will always remember that, hey, I love you. Right now you might not feel that I'm wrapping your head and your body, but what am I wrapping? The vital organs, the heart, the lungs. I'm wrapping all that up. I'm the one keeping you going, God says. So up to now, again, we discussed the Chashmal, we discussed the Malbush, we discussed the level of talit katan, talit gadol. We said that on the when the talit gadol is worn, that's equal to big lights coming in, right, light in the room. That's the level called mother. Mother wants to give supreme light to our child. If the child receives that light or not, that's going to depend on if he's a talit gadol or talit katan. Make sense? Again, when he lacks intelligence, he's a talit katan. When he has intelligence and he's able to receive and reciprocate, talit gadol. Now we know why we don't wear talit at night. Light is called choshech. Choshech is the absence of light. It represents the inability of a person to receive, to perceive, to understand the love. Masha'enken, in the daytime, you're able to see. That's why we give the example of a daytime and a sun shining outside. Because when do you have talit? Only in the daytime, which is the time when the light outside shines. Light outside shines represents our ability to see. Makes sense? So now we answer again. Why we wear the talit katan at all the other times, and why there's no mitzvah of tzizit at night, only during the day. We said, why do we wear it on Yom Kippur? So the night of Yom Kippur, it's nighttime. Now we know the rules. We know everything works upstairs. What should be the rule? You told me at nighttime, which represents the inability to perceive. I'm only a baby at night, right? At nighttime is the fetus. I'm the level of fetus. So I cannot receive. So why am I all of a sudden wearing this big talit? Which represents I'm intelligent, I'm able to see God, I'm able to bring Him in, I'm able to feel His wrapping. Because on that night, it's different than all the other nights. That night upstairs in the Sharei Shamayim, there's something called mochim, brains. The baby all of a sudden that night gets fitted with a hat of brains on his head. So he's a baby, yes. But on that night, he's able to receive the Kedusha of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to perceive it. He's able to comprehend it. Which on every other night, he's only a baby. Does that make sense? So again, on the night of Yom Kippur, he's able to perceive. Why? Because he's standing, he knows it's Yom Adin. That night, he might be on a baby level. And that's why Yom Kippur is so important, because every Jew in the world comes on that night. More than the daytime. At the nighttime, Kol Nidrei, all the Jews come. Why is that? Even the babies of the Jew, meaning Tinok Shenishba, meaning a person who doesn't know anything, he's called, in the Lashon of Chazal, he's called a baby that was captive. A baby that they took him when he was a baby, and they turned and they made him forget all his Judaism. That's called a person who doesn't know. So the Lashon is called Tinok Shishba. Even these people come out, because even the baby on this night realizes what's going on. The proof of it is that all the Jews come out. Conservative, Reform, Orthodox, doesn't matter. What Eidah, which thing, doesn't matter. All the Jews, all the synagogues, on that night, during the day, not so much. During the day, not so much. But during that night, everyone comes in. Because that's the only night where the baby receives moach. During the day, you're already on big boy level. So whoever's ever on non-big boy level, non-big boy level, what are you going to do? But for those who are babies, there's one night a year where they are filled with the same intelligence that we have all during the morning times. Which is, again, the ability to perceive and reciprocate and give off. And so all of a sudden people start donating all of a sudden. Oh, they start throwing out money. What happened? All year this guy has no affiliation to Torah. Now all of a sudden very important for him to hold the Torah. And you'll see them. You'll see, because you'll see by the way they kiss. Look at next Yom Kippur, B'ezras Hashem. Look at the way the people that come in one time a year. Look at the way they kiss the Torah. Look at the respect they have. Oh, they're in awe of it, more than we are, because